Everyone, a huge honour to have Dr. Harold Kandler. He is a retired dentist. He's from England. He lives now in Israel. Shared an amazing Times of Israel article he shared within regards to Yom Yerushalayim, Jerusalem Day. Huge honour. We're right behind the Jerusalem stone also.
Okay, well thank you once again, Rabbi Michael, for inviting me on your channel. It's Yom Yerushalayim today, a day sadly that has not been made a national holiday in Israel, and people therefore don't appreciate how important the day is. I was only 9 at the time, but various memories I'm going to talk about now reinforced it. That classic moment where it said, Har HaBayit B'Yadeinu, Temple Mount is in our hands. It's in our hands, and it's not. Jerusalem is not for sale, as the song says, and Har HaBayit is not for sale. Unfortunately, we have to prioritise that, because even now things like the UN are saying there's no Jewish connection to Har HaBayit. There certainly is. Okay, so there was the most amazing victory on the day. I would commend everybody to go onto YouTube and put in General Uzi, U-Z-I, Narkis, N-A-R-K-I-S. He was the commander of the forces that took the old city, and he made a testimony a few days before he never died of cancer. You can see he's looking really ill, but it is the definitive history of what happened. So an absolute must to look on that. There were so many things that happened. I remember all the first aid box being emptied at home, all the first aid materials in the shops in Edgware where I come from, all being bought in Stuttgart. We had to do that again on the 7th of October. Never thought I'd have to see that again. On the funnier side, they made pop-up shops selling. People would give an empty shop, people would sell stuff. My dad went to help. My dad, Zecher Livrocha, really couldn't afford not to work, but he gave up his time. He put his jacket down. At the end of the day, it had been sold. And my mum was happy because it wasn't to change the jacket, but Dad needed a jacket. People were going to shuls, donating blood. There was no 24/7 news like now. People were trying to pick up news, and one of the guys, he was at work, he couldn't, in a non-Jewish environment, so someone sent him a message from Mr. Morris Judge that everything was done. Morris has been named frequently, people call Moshe. A judge is a Dayan. Moshe Dayan had said it was done. The BBC correspondent at the time was known called Michael Elkins, an American Jew, who was proud of his Judaism. Big change there from the BBC today. But Elkins went home for lunch on the first day of the war, and he saw in his building a high-ranking officer like, you should be at work with this war going on. The fact that he wasn't, he realised something major had happened. He twigged what was going on, but the original CBS didn't believe what he said. I went to a school called Rosh Pinah in Edgware. Before the war, we'd learnt the song Yerushalayim Shel Zahav, and afterwards we learnt the added verses. So it was already being ingrained into us, and they've made a big assembly for the Jewish day schools in a central hall in the West End. We were taken out of school on coaches, and it really, from age 9, all these things were in my head of Yom Yerushalayim, the importance of it. My friend Stephen, he came to Yerushalayim before the 6-day war. He was standing near the border. Suddenly he felt someone slap him back like that. Why? He said, because the Jordanian snipers will kill people, even though you're in Israel. And the Stuttgart, in the building Michael and I are looking at now, a man there lost a young nephew who was shot dead by the Jordanians, although he was in Israel. The first time I went to the Kotel was 6 months after the war, and the next time was 1973, and I couldn't work it out. What was going on? But of course the Kotel Plaza wasn't what it is now, and we have to appreciate just what it is. People used to talk about the Wailing Wall. That's not the translation of Kotel Maravi, that's the Western Wall. But people, if they actually had got there, they were wailing. That's why it was there. The 6-day war in American military circles is not taught, because the American military said it's a miracle, and they don't do miracles. I know this story is true, because one of the neighbours, Rabbi Nosson Sachs, who was the chaplain in the US Army, he was there. He knows the story. 2017, 50 years after the war, Mizrahi put on the most amazing event. Again, if you YouTube Mizrahi 2017, you should find it on YouTube there. The whole ceremony is there. In it, the now ambassador, Mike Huckabee, he said, got up and stood. One of the things he said is people say Israel's an apartheid state. He said, well, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it is an apartheid state. I hope we've got it word for word. And I was stunned. He said, I wanted to go to Shechem. He couldn't say the word Shechem. I had to go there under armed guard. He said, Israel's apartheid. Yes, apartheid is for Jews. Arabs, Christians can pray anywhere they like, but not Jews. That's the apartheid. He was there. Obviously, Rav Goren, the picture of Rav Goren at the Kotel. Rav Goren came to Edgware in 1973, and he had that uniform on, and you know that was really very special to see him there. Just going back to that 2017, what an amazing day. They had the ceremony a few days before, the night of Yom Yerushalayim, obviously the davening there. In the morning, the Kotel was absolutely thronged. You couldn't move, and so many Jews together, praying together, very uplifting. In the afternoon, it's going on now, Rikud at the Galim, the flag parade, where people converge from all sides of Yerushalayim to the Kotel with the flags. For that one, there was a very special ceremony going on. Afterwards, there was a Shweki concert, and when Shweki's singing the song Rachem, talking about the temple, and he's looking from the Kotel up the Temple Mount. I mean, it really got you. So, Yom Yerushalayim, not just a military victory, it's a special day where we return to our capital. Yerushalayim is forever, it's our eternal capital, and we need to appreciate that, we need to be proud of that, and please God, Mashiach will come very shortly when we will see the rebuilt Yerushalayim. Thank you, Michael. If you want to see the whole thing, as I said, it's on the Times of Israel. Put it in my name, Harold Kandler.